I do say this with experience and some regret that if Democrats don't get better on effective messaging with their past policies and their agenda plans, they're going to blow a golden opportunity to defy history with the midterms. What do I mean by this? Well, when you got gas prices, unstable and their unpredictability, slowly creeping back up the last 2 weeks because Vladimir Putin decided to, you know, play his only card with his Russian oil, and so the markets reacted. Do your voters know what you have passed and how it affects their lives? Do they know that Medicare diabetics who rely on insulin, that next year will finally get the $35 a month, and the year after that will finally see the $2,000 a month price cap on their policies? Do they know how the CHIPS Act works? Do they know that the student loan forgiveness you can start to apply in October, but also Republicans are gearing up for a legal challenge to it? So you can't blame voters if they vote against you because you haven't changed course in your campaigning. A lot of Democrats still make the mistake of doing campaigning on TV only and not doing enough on digital advertising like social media, YouTube, TikTok, do whatever will get young voters energized. The Democrats do have a lot of messaging to campaign on, but the effects of it remains to be seen. I did a video a year ago on how the Republicans were going to use three things in their campaigns for 2022: inflation, the border, and impeaching President Biden. And they have stuck true to their word because people fear crime. Naturally, who doesn't fear crime? They don't understand how the border works. They're easily duped and don't understand that there's actually the Border Patrol for that. So when you don't have effective messaging from your politicians, it leads to voter either being depressed or voting against you. Have you actually sat down with your voters and explained to them how inflation works and who is to blame for why there isn't price gouging legislation or why inflation actually exists and what has been done and what hasn't been done to help inflation? The Dobbs decision will help mitigate some of the damage, but right now prominent pollsters are predicting that Republicans will hold the House 218, 219, but the Democrats will keep the 50-50 split in the Senate. 50-50 split in the Senate still means Manchin and Sinema will have too much power. Yes, Fetterman will be much needed backup, but either Manchin or Sinema could still kill legislation. Most Democrats and independents are informed on the issues. They do their own homework. But are some of the swing voters on the right informed on the failures of voting rights and paid family leave? Another failure is Democrats' failure to call out their own. So this upcoming election, midterms, is going to be interesting and also terrifying. Because if the GOP wins, they don't actually have a plan for inflation, mind you. It's just going to be more tax cuts for the rich and impeaching President Biden. there will be no actual funding for government programs. There will just be continuing resolutions. That's it. Look at the playbook of the Tea Party era. That's what we're facing again. But also, if you're concerned about how your vote, what impact your vote will have, why don't you ask the people in Ohio, like Tim Ryan, if he actually plans to introduce legislation that will affect price gouging, or paid family leave, or women's rights. You can't just, and also Democrats, you can't just wait till the debates to introduce or talk about what you're going to do. You have to get out there more.